Good morning, everybody. My name is Gary, DenverGuitarOrchestra.com. I'm going to go post our link over on the website so that everybody knows we're up and running. And that will include a tiny handful of people who are learning to play fingerstyle guitar. And today we have, I don't know how much music we have today. Let's see. I worked on it yesterday, then I went to bed, and now I have no recollection of what's on here. We're going to do a little bit out of the three-chord songbook. We're going to just take a look at reading tablature. The ever-popular Mary Had a Little Lamb is coming up today. And then also we have out of book 2, we have Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman, fancy word for Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And then in the classical section, we're going to play Contentment by Shawn and Lullaby by Isaias. I don't know how you say his first name, Savio. So let's see if this is up and running correctly. Looks like we're in good shape. Tuesday, Sunday, click, and there we are. It opens up correctly to broadcast number 428. I'm going to close this. Vic is in. Sound is good. Drizzly up in Eugene. Summer's coming, Vic. Don't hang on, you guys. Linda probably the same thing. Can hear me fine. Good morning to you, Linda. How's the weather up in British Columbia? All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Restrung the guitar earlier this week. So the strings are still being a little fussy. Beautiful. All right, let's take a look here. Let's see. I'm going to make sure everything's set there correctly. It looks like it is. And, okay, so we were going to finish up a handful of the strummers. So let me pull up the list. All right. So we're going to play 4 songs today. All right. That's a lot of singing by Gary. I don't know if we're going to get through all of that, but let's give it a try. Grab your 4-chord song book, the strumming book. Pull it up here. Oh, they just gave me a new version of 4-score. Always makes me nervous. And how many got used to they do these auto updates, and you're like, okay, should be fine, hoping it's fine. Sometimes it's fine, a lot of times it's not. All right, I'm a little teapot. Let's go find that guy. Where is he at? Page 8. Page 8. Oh, come on. Okay, beautiful. All right. I'm a little teapot. Linda says 50 degrees. You can see the sun coming through the clouds. Nice. Sandy's in. Good morning, Sandy. Good to see you. And let's see. Sandy says snowing up there again. And then laughs. I guess it's not really surprising, is it, Sandy? I mean, that is what happens up there. About 3 feet still on there. 3 feet on the ground. Eesh. Like Moses. All right. Let me put on my thingamabob. And I put magnets on the inside of this guitar. And that one has obviously fallen off. Come on, you can do it. Well, the top one's got a hole, isn't it? Did it wrong. That's why. Still learning, getting comfortable with this thing. Okay, where's the lower magnet? There it is. There it is. And then, aha. Now I see where the problem is. Hold on. So if you haven't gotten one of these little contraptions, I do recommend them. They guitar much easier, right? You just put magnets on the inside of the guitar and then use this little thing. And if I were more comfortable using it, I would just drop that on there without near as much catastrophe as what I had just done. Let's see, I'm going to get in the middle of the screen here. There we go. I'm a little teapot. Remember, your goal is A chord, and then you're going to get to D chord. Follow your middle finger back to A chord. Chase your index finger, and then E7 is again also chasing your index finger, and then to get to A, chase your index finger. Okay. If you can, when you're on the D chord, use the D string. When you're on A, use the A string, and when you're on E, have your thumb on the E string. Easy to talk about, a little harder to do. As you all know, my singing is brutal. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. Again, change your right hand pattern. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle and here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. One more time. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle and here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. So I think those two skill techniques, the claw technique and the arpeggio technique, are really, really handy and helpful to make you sound more professional as a guitarist. All right, next up, I've been working on the railroad. We'll make short work of this one. Measure page 9. Page 9, please. All right, page 9. This song goes on way too long. It's more fun on a ukulele, to be perfectly honest, but it'll work here. Let's do, I don't know, just pick a right-hand pattern either. Remember, your right-hand patterns are thumb, index up and down, claw plucking, and arpeggio plucking. All right, I think I'll start with just claw plucking. 1, 2, ready, go. I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. Now I think that's going to sound better. It's going to sound more work a day with arpeggio plucking, and good practice, right? Thumb, index, middle, ring. Just pick any 4 strings, and you'll sound great. Again, well, try obviously to put your thumb on the root note of the chord. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I've been working on the railroad all the livelong day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can you hear the whistle blow and rise up so early in the morning? Can't you hear the captain shouting, Dinah, blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Sorry, Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Hold it, and ukulele, you just do your little tremolo. E7, go. Strumming on the old banjo. You get the idea. Thumb, index, middle, ring, just a whole bunch of it, and you'll end up sounding kind of professional. All right, On Top of Spaghetti. This is the best song in the book. Page 12. Page 12. Now that we switched to 3, right? So before we were in 4, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, works out perfectly with your fingers. When you go to 3, you're in waltz time, right? And so anytime you're in 3, you're probably thinking either 1, 2, 3, thumb, index, middle, index. No, wait. Thumb, index, middle, which is very boring. Or do it in 6, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, or probably even better, thumb, pluck, pluck, thumb, pluck, pluck. You use these 3 fingers to do your bigger plucks. I think that'll probably sound the best. Okay, so A chord. Here we go. 1, 2. On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese. I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed. It rolled off the table and onto the floor. And now my poor meatball rolled right out the door. It rolled down the gutter and under a bush. And now my poor meatball is nothing but mush. I should change the chord when I didn't come up, huh? The rains came and soaked it as wet as can be. And early next summer, it grew to a tree. The tree was all covered with beautiful moss. It grew lovely meatballs, all covered in sauce. If you eat spaghetti, all covered in cheese, hang on to your meatball and don't ever sneeze. So that's that waltz plucking, thumb, blunk, plunk, and of course every time I was making a mistake then I'd have to add in some extra of these or whatever. Very easy to, if you can get it good, right, where you don't ever make mistakes, the song sounds better because your right hand is consistent. But if you make a mistake, just put in a bunch of extra of these until you get back onto the main beat. That's my favorite song. I love that song. All right, I say that about half the songs in the program. All right, now let's wrap up with this little light of mine. I think that's on page 16 if I remember right. No, it's not. It's on page, where are you? 14, this little light of mine. Okay. Nice part about teaching this song, guys, is that you are on A for a long time before you do a little bit of D, and then you're on A for an even longer time, and then a D, E, A, right? So it's actually quite pleasant to teach people how to do this one. Okay. Here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, play. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. there. And probably the last chord, for those of you getting up there, are the bar on across the bottom 4 strings on 2, right? Leave your A string open, bar on 2 all the way down, and then pinky up on 5. This is an A note right here. So the nice part is, has a very complete sound to it. Because you're getting A note on the bottom, complete A chord in the middle, A note on the top end. Right? And then double check yourself. I always have to do this as well. Double check that your pinky has a roundedness to it, that your knuckles are standing up, and that the pinky is actually coming back in toward the top end of the fretboard this way. What we'd rather not happening, which you see me do all the time, is this thing where this is straight and your fingers are actually bent backwards, and these are doing all sorts of weird stuff. So try to keep your fingers nice and round always. When you have a bar, it's really hard to do, but this little partial bar doesn't cover the top 2 strings. Pinky on the A note, which is fret 5, and then these guys hanging out, just getting ready for the next song. Nice way to end a piece, right? When you're in the key of A. All right, there's our strummers. Let's take a very quick look at Brother John. This is be your homework for the week. All of you guys, I don't know. I never know exactly who's hanging around online, so I know that Vic, Linda, and Sandy are quite capable of handling this. But if you happen to be watching and you are not those 3 people, I want to make sure that this is clear. Okay, so when we learn tablature, this is the most important song in all of the instruments I teach. If I taught balalaika, I would teach this song. If I taught mandolin, I would teach this song. Any fretted instrument, I would teach this song because it teaches you to read tablature. And once you can read tablature, you can play all fretted instruments, all songs. Every song worth doing is tabbed out at this point. And so the key here is reading the guitar melody line. It says 0240, and the strings, it looks like you're going to play the top string because that's how our brain works, but you're actually, it's upside down. So it's like if I held the guitar up to the paper like this, I'd be like, oh, okay, now I see. So you got 6 lines, that's your 6 strings. The number is the fret, not your fingers. Don't get confused on that. If it says 0, you pluck it open. If it says a 2, use your middle finger. I wrote on the top of the standard notation up there, M for middle, okay, 4 is P for your pinky, and then O for open, okay, and again, open, middle, pinky, open. Pay attention, again, with your knuckles, you want those standing up. We don't want them laying down or doing a weird thing like this. We want them standing up, and your thumb is right behind wherever your middle finger is. O, 2, pinky is rounded, O, 2, 4, O. Next set is 4, 5, and 7. So you're going to do index finger, and notice my thumb falls right behind where my middle finger is. 4, 5, and pinky, keeping it rounded. 4, 5, 7. Okay. Next set is 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. When you first start, do these as quarter notes, but as you get better, you'll do them as eighth notes. So ring, and then pinky, and then back to your ring. I haven't lifted my ring up at all yet. And then I usually slide down to get the middle finger here. Middle, index, open. So again, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. The nice part is you've got dots. You guys can't see my dots. They're on the side of the fretboard here. I got a dot on 7, I got a dot on 9, and I got a dot on 5. So I only have to really remember where the 4 is. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open, okay? And then on the last line, it says 0, 0, 0, but they're on different strings, right? So first string, second string, first string. Okay? The hard part of this song is not playing the song. It's a little bit hard in measures 5 and 6. The hard part is reading the repeats, okay? And this is where we teach people how to read repeats also. Play all the way down through measure 8. And you notice above measure 8 there's a bracket and it has a 1. And I even wrote it out. On the first time through, play measure 8. On the second time through, skip measure 8 because it's the first repeat. You play it the first time, but not the second time. So you get to 8, repeat. Okay, you go back up to the top, you play the whole song again. But when you get to the end of measure 7, you should have a piece of, you should have your highlighter, and you should put a line right down on the front of measure 8. Otherwise, you'll forget. You will forget. We all forget. Many times I've played into the first repeat on the second time. When you get to the end of 7, you see your yellow highlight, and you'll be like, okay, I got to think, is this the first time or the second time? If it's the second time, you jump into measure 9. Okay, now guys, those of you who are teaching this stuff or getting ready to start somebody on doing this, I don't teach tough acts on this one at all. It's actually pretty darn hard. Okay, so the one thing you should probably also teach when you're talking about this is, 1, correct fingering on the fretboard, obviously, reading the tablature, which strings are which and which frets are which. And then the other thing I do teach is quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. That's the 3 notes styles that you have in this. So the quarter notes in measure 1, those are all worth 1 beat. In measure 3, the first 2 are worth 1 beat, but the second note has a hole in the middle of it, and that means it's worth 2 beats. Okay, and then down at measure 5, you actually have 8th notes, so those are half notes. So morning bells are ringing, right? So those are half, and that's why we always teach this as quarter notes in class, and then I send everybody home and I say, your job is to get those 8th notes to be faster than the rest. Okay, and then of course at the end of the song you have a whole note, and it's tied to the previous half note. Okay, so that's stuff I talk about. All right, let's give it a try. Let's play twice through. And then well, let's do it this way. The first time through, let's play measures 5 and 6 like those 8th notes are quarter notes. And then the second time through, we'll do it at full speed. Okay? So from the top, 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, again. 4, 5, 7 quarter notes. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open. First string, second string, first string, second string, first string. Let's go do it again. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7. 8th note. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, second ending, first string, second string, first string, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you can use your palm of your hand, bring it up over the bridge to stop a guitar ringing. Right, that stops it in a reasonable way. If you do this, you're going to get that clunk, and we don't want that. The other thing, those guys have been around a while. You can do rest strokes with index and middle on this, right? 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4. So be thinking about index, middle, index, middle. That's a really, and when I first started in classical guitar, I couldn't do that at all. I've come a long ways, still got plenty of work to do on that, right? And then as you're pulling up your fingers, having it actually rest on the string above it. That's a good higher level practice skill to use. And you start, or you guys know, technical stuff you start on. You use these easier songs to practice your technical stuff. So when you get to songs you actually want to play, you have those techniques underhand. All right, so that's the song for the week. See if you can get that up to speed. And those of you guys been here for a long time, try to make it as hard as possible, right? So fine, if that's easy, middle ring, right? And try doing that, or alternating index, middle, ring, index, middle, ring. All of those things are legit things to work on. All right, let's go take a look at Mary Had a Little Lamb. I was printing these out for my in-class group, and I hit print on it, and for some reason I printed out 60 copies of Mary Had a Little Lamb. I don't know what I did wrong with the printer. Anyway, I have 8 billion copies of this now, and so if any of you need me to mail you a copy, I have one. Okay, let's do, first let's check our chords. Okay, D chord. Remembering that if you are going to do any kind of a fancier pluck, D sounds great. Okay, that's the root note, and then A is its friend. Right, and you could fancy it up that way. A note or A chord. Again, double check that these are out of book 1. Okay, and then when you get into page 2, it switches from the key of D to the key of A. So now your main chord's A. And your second chord is E, obviously. Okay. And so the thing I like to do with this song, when we're working on the chords, is try right hand stuff. Right, the chords are not hard. Work on your right hand stuff. From the top, 1, 2, ready, go. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Change your right hand. They're the same as in the little booklet, so let's not spend too much time on those. Let's play the melody. Okay, we ask you to look through and see where's the melody going to eat your lunch. And this one we're probably in pretty good shape. I see a lot of zeros, a lot of twos, a lot of threes. I don't see anything further up the neck, so I'm definitely planning on playing this in first position, using twos as my middle finger, threes as my ring finger. Let's give it a try. Probably just your thumb on the right hand, right, and not all over the fretboard, so we should be fine. 1, 2. Ready, play. 2, 3, 2, zeros. Oh, there are 5s. Whoops, I missed a note. Keep going. Get caught. I was like, oh, there's no 5s, and sure enough they show up. So probably when that happens, so in this case at the top of Mary Had a Lamb, 2 0 3 0 2 2 2 0, and then you see, oh shoot, there's 5s. I just noticed them in the middle of measure 3, so now I'm going to just slide up into second position, 2, right, and then I can go back into first position, but that way I don't have to, that way my fingers are laying right above the frets I need to play, and I don't need to do any sort of chasing my pinky down the neck. Okay, so there's that. And then, all right, here's your big moment. Okay, the tough uke. I know I got my page turner out. Where did I set it? There it is. Oh, okay, let's see if it's actually plugged in. Ah, nice. Okay, there we go. Now we got a page turner, so we should be in better shape. All right. Tough uke, tough axe. Make sure my right hand's in place. Okay, I'm just going to use a claw pluck position, but you can absolutely use your thumb down as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go through the second time. Let's just play it with thumb. Okay, so this is a more advanced technique, that claw plucking. I want you to work on that, of course. Okay, now let's just use thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. This book, I will fix this ending, and I will put that A chord we were talking about earlier, bar on 2, pinky on 5, finish up with that. Okay, and again, nobody wants to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Everybody wants those skills that we just used to play that, though, and so practice it both ways, with your thumb and with the claw, and your goal is obviously to get it in good timing. So however slow you have to play it is perfectly fine. Once you get it, then your goal is to make it clean and faster, obviously. And then remember, when you're playing with your thumb actually rests on the string you're not going to play. All right, so that's that. Let's take a look very quickly at Pay Me My Money Down, which is the next song in the book. Now this song and brings in some other techniques that we haven't done in the past. Okay, so A chord. I thought I heard the captain say, rest, pay me my E chord, money down, tomorrow is my sailing day. Rest, pay me my money down. Okay, so that's the first page, and then the second page is rest, pay me, oh pay me. Rest, pay me my E chord, money down. Rest, pay me or go to jail. Rest, pay me my money down. Okay, so there's nothing in the song. Okay? It's not a complicated chord song at all. And the melody here, the only thing I'll recommend is this is one of the few songs in Book 2 where there are tied notes. I think every song has some tied notes in there, but they're actually pretty important in here. I thought I heard, you've got to get that heard, the note for heard comes on beat 2 and, so it comes in early. So pay attention to that. I thought I heard the captain say, and then the rests are also very important in here. Rest, pay me my money down. And when we read tab, we have a tendency to ignore that stuff, and we don't want to. 002 to 002, rest. 020320. Okay, so just make sure you're paying attention to those rests. That's why you've got to get your eyes reading both the tab and the standard notation. If you took any piano, you're used to reading 2 lines at once anyway. But as guitarists, if you're going to use tab, you also have to be peeking up at the standard notation just to get your timing correct. And the other thing in this song, I put some asterisks or little snowflake looking things, and you're supposed to use a tapping sound there. So let me give you the example from the tough axe line. Some type of tapping noise. Now, there's several different ways to pull it off. One is because you're big, your hands are busy, so reach down and just tap your guitar with your IMA fingers. Okay, you could also reach up with your thumb, tap it here. You'll see lots of, if you Google on YouTube, if you YouTube fingerstyle guitar, you'll see them using their thumb and smacking this string up against their frets here. I don't like to do that because I know that's going to mean that I get to change my frets out sooner, and I'd like to put that day off as long as possible, so I don't do that. I would just use my thumb and tap the guitar. they like that snare drum sound in these things, and sometimes it can get so overwhelming. You're just like, ugh, that's enough of that. All right, take a look at that one this week. If you don't know the song, go listen to the MP3 on the website, and then I think it'll become clear. Also, Bruce Springsteen does a 20-minute version of this, so it's out there if you want to go check that out. Let's see. Next is, so that's your song for the week. Pay Me My Money Down. It's kind of a fun one. All right, book 3. Let's get serious now. Where are you? There you are. Very first song. Now, I believe that the version you have. Let me double check because I've changed the version on this, and I gotta repost book 3. I haven't done that in a long time. So yes, we both have the same version. So what we need to have is, there's no repeat in here right now. When I repost this, it will have a repeat. I guess in 2017, I thought once through is enough. Let's learn our chords. Let's sing it with the chords. The chords are more intense here, and then we'll play the melody, and then we'll play the tough. Okay, so chords. G chord, remember that this one's asking for the fancier G with ring and pinky. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Twinkle, twinkle, C chord, little, back to your G chord, star, D7, lead with your index. How, one, regular G, wonder, index, what you index are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Sky. I missed my D7. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Index. The hardest chord is the C chord. C chord, you gotta plant your index finger, then these other two guys stretch way out here. For me, that's always been the hardest chord in guitar is C chord, and it comes up every single day. Gotten better, but not great at it. All right, there's the chords. Let's play the melody from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decided after we started off, I'd switch from my index, switch out of my thumb. I'm going to do index middle. 1, 2, ready, play. Not that note. 1, 2, ready, play. Index middle, that's going to come up. It's going to be a thing that you probably want to do. Go back through. If that was too easy, do middle and ring. Boy, that's a tough order, tough thing to practice. Okay, lovely little tune, little Mozart variation. So that's not too hard to spend some time on. All right, let's play the tough axe. Now, as I'm looking through this and I see, oh boy, this definitely looks like a thumb down one to me because I'm doing a lot of rest strokes where I don't want to hit that first string or the second string. So I'm probably going to just do a lot of thumb down here. And I am going to follow what the chords say up there because those I put in specifically to help me with this. Okay, from the top. 1, 2, ready, play.
And again, in all of the books, I'm going to be taking off the arpeggio patterns that I wrote out for these. I thought this was such a smart thing to do. I'll put on arpeggio patterns on all the songs, and it turns out it's not smart at all. That's something that you should be doing by reading the chords, not by looking at how things are spelled out. I'll post one lesson where we learn how to do arpeggio picking, and this might be a perfect song for it because you see it's all on the bottom four strings. But I would not be thinking about arpeggios as written out. I do that in orchestra because we have to know what we're doing. But for solo play, you should look at the chords to learn your arpeggio picking. Okay, isn't that lovely? That's just a lovely piece of music. All right, and this week I want you to work on All Through the Night. Most of you probably know this at this point, but if you don't, all of the chords are the same exact chords from book number 1, so you're supposed to have a good handle on these chords at this point. And let me run through, and one of those of you who want to play along with the tough acts with me, or the melody, right? If I'm playing tough acts and you're not quite ready for tough acts, or if you think you are and you get in a pickle, just jump up and play the melody, okay? Because you already know your chords on this one, so there's no reason to spend a ton of time working on them. But let me play through the tough acts, and if you can, play with me. Otherwise, play the melody. Okay, and notice page 1, it's all 0s, 2s, and 3s, right? So you don't have to worry about position, but in measures 9, 10, and 11, this goes up to fret 7, so you are going to have to pay attention to, I will probably do, when I get to the 5, bring my whole hand up, and then on my ring fingers over 7. And I like that general thought of, hey, the first 4 frets are covered by fingers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then anything that's not that, I want to try as often as possible to move my whole hand up into 5th position, because I'm real comfortable with 1 and 7 being here. 8s show up a lot of times when you're in these types of songs. And then the next position up, 9, 10, 11, 12, I don't use it that often. That comes up in higher level classical music where you use this quite often. But in terms of regular, normal human being music, I don't find myself needing to worry about 9th fret particularly. It's nice that there's a dot there. I'm sure that's why the dots have ended up there. I always make fun that guitar players have them there because it looks pretty, but it does help you think about 5th position and 9th position as your primary positions. But of course, you already have figured out a lot of times you're in 2nd position. Some in Frere Jacques, you end up in 4th position. So these positions are fluid. All right, I got my foot off thing on, so let's do it. Okay, I'm going to use my thumb down, but if you want to use your claw picking, you can, and obviously play melody if this is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4.
think, and the nice part is there's no chords in there you don't know, and the melody itself is very repetitive. First measures 1 through 4 are the same as 4 through 8 and 9, and 13 through 16. So you only have to learn 4 measures, and then you have to know the measures from 9 through 12, which is where things get interesting. Fascinating that in measure 12 you actually have to do G, beat, D, A, right? There's a very quick turnaround on that one chord there, and what's otherwise a very peaceful little song. So plenty to work on there. The one thing I found most challenging when you're on the E chord, you're going to have to be using your finger to get the melody note off the D. So that's a challenging thing that comes up a lot. For some reason, E7 loves to have this D on the top, and so it's going to come up quite a bit. And so it's something you got to get good at. So work on that this week. That's a good way to spend a week. Is all through that. 2 weeks, right? I always say 1 week, but it's 2 weeks. All right, so there's your books 1, 2, and 3. If you're newer or you're getting started, those are super critical. There's nothing we went over today that's not essential to your life. So, and once you can do this stuff, then you can go play better music, right? All Through the Night's a pretty good piece of music. Nobody cares about Mary Had a Little Lamb or Friar Jacques, but they give you the skills necessary to play this and to play all the other stuff in book 3 and books in all of the book 4s, right? Okay, let's take a look at these 2 classical pieces that we talked about. Let's go into classical pieces. And again, if you need this password to the classical page, you just send me an email and I'll get you in there. RCM Book 0. I wish they wouldn't call it Book 0. It just feels a little demeaning. And it's not. The stuff in here is really quite fun to play and important. All right, remember in classical, the big difference between fingerstyle and classical. In classical, you care less about chord shapes and a whole lot more about claw plucking. And in fingerstyle, we almost always have a chord shape on over here, and we do a lot more strumming and thumb down type stuff than you do in classical. All right, Contentment is a modern song, obviously, 19 something or other. And so it's not meant to be fast. He's got it listed at quarter note equals 116, which is pretty fast. I don't think it needs to be anywhere near that fast. You are going to be playing some 4s, so use your pinky. Don't cheat and sneak up there with your ring finger. Definitely use your pinky. And again, trying to remember to keep it nice and round. The easiest way to work on that is when you end up finding you're doing this kind of a thing. Get your hand in proper position. Make sure your knuckles are standing up, and then right along here, get this up close to the neck. Okay, so that you're actually doing a claw shape rather than a rounded shape with your hand. Okay, all right, from the top, not fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Funny ending there. All right, observe the fermata. Just let your guitar ring. Let's play it one more time from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a half note. Okay, and then we go. too many mistakes. From the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's pretty, right? I think it's well titled, Contentment. Let's go peek at the Leroy piece that you're working on this week. Quite a bit more challenging. Now, I do have chord shapes on here throughout, but I don't necessarily think you should be putting those chord shapes on. Okay, so they can help you kind of think about what's going on in the piece. But I would say, again, this is not a fast piece at all, and peeking through it, I see, oh, I got ones, I got twos, I got threes. Okay, I think I'm going to be fine with this. Again, make sure you're not just playing with your thumb over here. You really do need your claw position. Also notice you're not going to use the top 2 strings, so it's really just a ukulele song that we have here. And the biggest challenge with Baroque or pre-Baroque music, this is actually Renaissance music, is that you're dealing with sounds and tempos and rhythms that are not common anymore. And so you kind of got to trust that what is written here is okay. Okay, so let me see if I can play through it really quickly here. I haven't worked on this one yet. 1, 2. Repeat. Okay, let's go to measure 7, 1, 2. Repeat. I actually find this piece a little easier to play than the previous one because the entire thing is hanging out here in frets 1, 2, and 3, and so your fingers are well trained to go hit those notes. It does sound a little Renaissance-y, and so I think that should be a fun one to work on this week. So hopefully you enjoy that. Let's see. Sandy says harmonica players could join these guitar sessions. I would love that, Sandy. I unfortunately am just out of time for tabbing harmonica. I am going to get to some this summer, but I'm completely out of time, and so I'm just really sad about. I bought 2 really fine chromatic harmonicas, and I've barely been able to play them at all. And so, yeah, if you want to take my original sheet music and write in tab notes for the harmonica and mail those to me, I can type those in relatively quickly, and we can post them over on the harmonica site. That'd be a delight. Whatever things that you want to do in that regard, Sandy, use my original sheet music. Like even over on the ukulele stuff, if you just put in the harmonica tabs and send that to me, then I can very quickly add those in. It's when people send me brand new songs that I got to retype up the whole entire thing. It can be a little bit time consuming, but if I have an existing piece of music and you put on the harmonica tab, then I am happy to put it in. Also, that tells me which songs you're interested in. So yeah, so I love that. I love that. So much of this music that has good, strong melody makes perfect harmonica stuff as well. All right, let's go take a look into book 1. Guys, I'm going to be working through this entire book one at a time, right? And so we have the way they have it set up, they have Baroque stuff and Renaissance stuff first, and then the good stuff. And so we do kind of have to slog our way through some of this a little bit, and just be patient. The good stuff keeps coming. Let's see. How come I don't have Lullaby sitting here? I was working on it the other day. Book 1, Lullaby. Where is it? Did I not pull it off the website? Let me hold on. Just let me take a second. Sometimes I download. Sometimes I play them straight off the website. Sometimes I play them. And I don't put them in my playlist. I don't think either of those are correct. Hold on. No, that's not it. And I don't even know what that is. When did we play that? The other one. Okay, so I must have played those a couple years ago. I don't know what those songs are. Hold on, let me pull these up on the website. Okay, looking at my bass. Whoops. What's going on here? Let me into my own website, please. Oh, something's wrong with the password. All right, so it's not going to cooperate. Let me see if I can get in over here. Sorry guys, I thought I had this in the book and I don't. Classical guitar, Royal Conservatory, Book 1, Lullaby. So weird. All right, Lullaby. I must have just been playing it off the computer this week. From the top. Okay, again, everything's 1, 2s, and 3s, so just be paying attention to staying in good first position and then just hitting the right strings. That's the hard part here. 1 and 2 and. Song. A couple of just fingering thoughts on this. How much time we have? We don't have any more time. That's what it goes like. Sorry, I blew it with our timing today. This week, I want you to start looking at the Calleno Costure Me, which is the Henry VIII type song. Pretty famous, not particularly great song, but we'll play Lullaby again next week. Sorry guys, I ran out of time. I gotta go get to the ukulele group, so I will see some of you there. I'll see the rest of you in 2 weeks from now, and we'll go over. We'll play Lullaby again. We'll play Calleno Costure as well, and then we will play whatever the next one is. So, sorry I didn't have my thing set up properly. I must have just been playing off the website. You guys have a great week, and I will see you in 2 weeks for more solo guitar. Peace.